Okay, for those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, I'm going to ask if everybody can stay off of the stage area here. This way nobody blocks the display, and it gives me a little bit of room to, move around, do this whole presentation thing, all right? If I can direct your attention to the menu wheel in your lower left, you're going to notice that there is a microphone icon at the very top of this menu. If that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear everything that's happening in your environment. So I've gone ahead and I've turned it to red, which means you're muted, right? And that means if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? We're not going to hear that, so feel free to answer them. Or if you have maybe like a dog barking in the background, you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire, but becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time. Now, just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice that you have a pink cheek smiley emoji in your menu wheel. When you press on it, your emoji panel will open up in front of you. And if I share something really deep, something really meaningful, something that might change your life and you feel it building up inside you, right? You can just let it out, right? You can just let it flow like that, right? Or maybe, I've got some backup dancers backstage, right? And they come out and they bust out in the Quest Time, the musical, and it's really impressive and you're amazed, right? You can throw up these applause that I live for, right? And I can take the moment to drink it all in because it feels good. All right. Now, also, if I ask you guys a yes or no question, you could say yes like this. You could say no like this. If you laugh, right, you want to show me that you're laughing, I do something funny, you can go like this, show me that you're laughing. That's a good way to do that. And then there's this. Okay. There's this button, right? What this does is this alerts me that there's some kind of a problem that I need to address. Like if I'm moving my hands around like this, right? This lets me know that, and it looks like I'm talking, but you guys can't hear me, right? And I see 5 of you going like this. Now I know there's a problem, right? If I see one person going like this over and over again, I'm probably going to just keep on going. But if I see 5 of you going, I know there's a problem, like the display behind me is on fire. Don't laugh, that actually happened one time. Give my moderators Terraformer for special effects. And that's why I don't do that anymore, because during one of the events, they tried to burn down the show. Okay? So that's why we don't do that anymore. You'll see there's an X in the middle of your emoji panel. That'll close the emoji panel, but it's a good idea to keep it open during events like this because it gives me feedback, lets me know how I'm doing. But more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So the person next to you is going like this, that means they found something funny and you may not agree with it. You might be like, that's not funny at all. And then, go stand over here. And you can totally do that because this is VR and pretty much, do that kind of thing. Now, so I know how to head out. Let me ask you guys some questions while you got that emoji panel open, okay? So show me like some raised hands or some emojis if you're on an Oculus Quest right now. Let me see some maybe some hearts, smiles, some show me that you're on an Oculus Quest, okay? Anybody on any Quest users here? Okay, a few of you. All right, different, good. All right, cool. How many of you are new to Altspace? Let me see some emojis if you're new to Altspace. All right, cool, welcome. Oh, that's a lot of new users, awesome. All right, how many of you have been here before, like to this event? This is everybody's first time? All right, so some of you have been here before. A lot of you, okay. So let's do something a little bit different today, all right? Usually we go through this, rehearsed material, but in the beginning, a lot of people seem like they had a lot of questions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the floor for questions right after we go over one important thing, because if you're new to Altspace and you're new in this environment, I like to go over some movement stuff just to make sure you're familiar with the controls, okay? And then we'll jump right into the whole question thing. How about that? Sound good? All right. See, when I first got my Quest, right, I was coming from an Oculus Go, and as you know, on the Oculus Go, you've got the one-handed controller, right? And I was very focused on getting that left hand. I couldn't wait for the thing to arrive. It comes in, and when I first held these controllers, I realized that these are so much more than just hands. They're also your feet. Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, so I couldn't wait. I'm like, because I'm used to expressing myself with both hands, and I felt like on an Oculus Go with the one hand, I felt I wasn't expressing myself as fully as I could, right? So what happened was, when it first arrived, I looked and I said, these are a lot of buttons to keep track of, right? It's a lot to keep in mind. And now look, if you're here today and you're on a Quest, you already know some stuff. Like, the left thumbstick is going to move you around like this. The right thumbstick is going to turn you in these circles. And when you combine the two, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If everybody could move in these big circles like that, I love seeing that because it looks like you guys are ballroom dancing. I'm going to take a moment to look on out there and see what that looks like. All right, cool. A few of you doing it. I'm going to jump in on this, get the numbers going, right? And I always say I like to look out and see this because when I do, right, I always say I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing when you guys are doing it. And now you can, because we got a YouTube channel now, right? And you'll notice that Raven Eye is floating up there. So if you want to, you can turn around, face the camera, and look on out to YouTube. Okay, YouTube, how's it going? I see you. I see you watching us, right? And just so you know, we've got, who do we got here? We got Liam Plazar. We've got my wife Fury over here. We got Lannon. We got Hummingbird here today joining us. We got Bryce. We got Cash 1486. We got H Banks 111. And we also got Eddie R. Eddie R, turn around, wave to the camera. All right. Like, wave out to YouTube and be like, hey, YouTube, how are you doing? All right. Now, on these controls here, right, we're going to start out by looking over this really quick, and then we'll open up for questions. What you have here is you've got the right grip button and the left grip button. You're going to use this to interact with your environment. You're going to use this to hold on to fireworks. You're going to use to hold on to, basketballs. And if you're in the world building beta program, you're going to use this to build worlds with your own two hands, right? And when you're holding these items, like with the world editor there, the behavior of your right thumbstick is going to change. No longer is it going to turn you around in these circles like this, but when you're holding the world editor and you got an item that you're holding on to, if you move the thumbstick on the right controller, left or right, it's going to change the scale or the size of the object. If you move that thumbstick forward or back, it's going to push that object away, or it's going to bring it closer to you. All right. Now, another thing you're going to have to keep in mind is, listen, I know these are a lot of buttons, okay? But I tell you, some of these buttons do the same thing, right? You're going to notice that this select button, your right trigger, and if you have your left pointer enabled through your main menu, you'll notice that this select button also, they all do the same thing. If you hold down one of these buttons right now and move your hand around the crowd, you can see that this is Fury on the side. You can see that this is Cash 1486. You can see that this is Max. You can see that you've got Lannon here. You've got H Banks. And behind the bar over there, you got Gaston. All right. And now he's working in the kitchen. He's looking around his space. He's exploring. It's a good thing to do. All right. So also you have, all right. Now, I don't know about this. If you're having a room scale experience, right, and you're walking around, and you're enjoying it, like occasionally you're going to walk out past your main menu. And whenever that happens, somebody comes into your space and says, hey, open. They'll tell you, hey, open your main menu, right? And when they do that, you're going to look around and you'll be like, where is this thing? All the time. And you're going to look behind you, and it's usually behind you, right? This can get all kind of quick. So what you want to do is you're going to notice that on your left controller, you have this flat button right here, right? And when you press down on that, your main menu is going to open up. See, some handy information, your main menu is in your hands at all times, right? I'll be honest with you. That blue and white triangle button that they tell you to press to open your main menu, I haven't pressed that thing in months, right? Every time I want to open up the main menu, I just flick my hand out like that. You don't have to do that hand flick. You just press that flat button, but I think it looks cool. Like menu open, menu closed, just like that. So you can totally do that. Now, another button that you need to be concerned with is you've got this left trigger button. The left trigger here, the left trigger? No, sorry. Yeah, we'll start with that. The left trigger. This is going to cause you to speed up. So if you're walking around or you're flying and you press and hold down that trigger, it's going to cause you to speed up, and I can run out and I can do a lap around the audience. Maybe we can get a typhoon going here. Maybe we can get a hurricane. Come on, spin with me, people. Make it fast. If you're feeling a little bit dizzy, maybe we should do this. I see we got a lot of Go users here today, right? So this probably isn't cool to be doing all these movement things. So you know what? There's other cool tips to do with the controls. If anybody wants to know more about that, ask me. We can do that with the teleporting and stuff. But, I want to keep this to be a good experience. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to open up for 2 questions right now. So if anybody wants to, have a question or anything like that, you're going to see a raised hand button on your lower right here. Black magic. All right. And let's just take the rest of the time just hanging out and ask questions. We've got kind of a small group. We can handle this, right? Press that raise hand button, and I'll get your name up there. Let's see, who do we have here? We've got Cash 1486. You're on the air. What's up, Cash? Where are you, Cash?
I apologize if this is a stupid question.
There's no stupid questions.
I'm literally 48 hours into a BAR experience, and I'm completely in love with it. I will be upgrading to the Quest.
Awesome.
I'm just wondering, I've had slight issues with blurriness while I'm using it, and I've had slight issues with motion sickness. I'm wondering, with the upgrades
all right.
of software
Listen, I went through the same thing. All right, now there's a couple things you can do, right? But when you get your Quest, I want you to come back to Quest time, because we actually cover this thing on how you can use your Guardian system to overcome some of the dizziness. But if you're on a go right now, right, 2 things I want to address with you. The motion sickness, first and foremost. I went through this too. It's really bad. I know a lot of people have also. One cool thing, when you start to get that dizziness coming on you, right, what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand, hold it up to your face like this, and look at it. Focus on that hand. Right? Pay attention to it. And when the dizziness starts to pass, slowly take it away and take in the world around you. That will help But you can also use your Guardian system to do this. If anybody would like to learn how to do that, I'll go over that. If just ask. But the other thing
Let's
with the
go.
blurring
Thank you.
is you're going to notice in your main menu, right? You open up your main menu and you're going to notice where it says settings, there's a cogwheel, right? Now you're going to notice where it says you're going to see it says display on the left side, right? There are a bunch of options that are going to make the screen a lot clearer, but it will affect the performance of your device, or it can. Be honest with you, I haven't experienced it. It's just made it awesome. It's made the graphics better, but I can't actually say turn up your display settings all the way. I can't technically say that, right? Because Altspace is very worried about performance, but I haven't found it affects performance at all. It just makes the graphics incredible. But I can't officially recommend that. But if I were to be able to do that, I would say you should totally do that. But I can't say that. They won't let me. They're holding me back. The admins are like, man, Michael Forrest, you can't say that. You can't do that.
Which
but I'm
setting
doing it,
is
man.
that? Is that the anti-analyzing in-world render scale? The
Yeah, you want to make sure. You want to make sure that if I were able to recommend this, I would suggest.
If you were.
Yeah, if I were, I would say, turn off your adaptive resolution and then pin those numbers as high as they can go. If I could say that, but I can't.
If you could say that,
because it might affect your performance. So I can't recommend it. And then the admins would come after me, and I'd be hiding under, behind a rock in a campfire, and I'd go into hiding.
We're just not here to upset people.
I know, right? I'd be like a total outcast. We can't have that. All right, let's see.
I am not turning my.
Okay, let's see who else. We have Avery Cool. They don't show the full names on this list. So Avery Cool. And I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name here. Where are you, Avery? Just say Avery. Yeah, I should have just said Avery. That would work. Avery, where are you? I don't see you, Avery. There you are. What's going on, Avery? You got to press that accept button in order to get on the air there. I'll try it again. Let's see, Avery. What's going on? No, maybe you pressed the button by accident. That can happen. All right, no worries. All right, let's see. We also have, I got to pick this name, Mike. Mike, you're on the air with Michael Forrest. Love that. Good name choice. Mike, where are you? Let's see. Where are you, Mike? Speak to me, Mike. What's going on? There you are. With the hat. Cool hat. What's going on, Mike? It's okay.
Nothing, bye. I don't have any words, so bye.
Okay, no worries. That's cool. Cool name, by the way. Like your name. It's worth it just for that. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? We have Dylan. Dylan, what's up? You're on the air. What's going on, Dylan? Where are you? Dylan, how's it going?
Question about the Quest since I'm on the go right now.
Yeah, that's cool. What's the question?
How much in average would the Quest really cost?
Really cost. All right. Well, there's two models that you can get. All right. The lower memory edition of it is $300 US, and the higher memory version is about $500 US. Right now, a lot of them are a lot more expensive because there is a long back order to get them. All right. So some people are buying them off of like eBay and they're paying as much as $700 US and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's so it can vary in that way. But generally speaking, when everything's stable, it's $300 and $500 for both different editions of it. All right, let's see, Lannon. Do you have a question, Lannon? What's going on? No worries. What's going on, Lannon?
I wanted to ask, how do I make a movie theater in this game?
How do you make a movie theater? All right. Well, first of all, you can start with one of the event templates that they have. That's one way to do it. Some of the world templates that you have, or you can try to build it yourself. There's a lot of different ways to build environments in Altspace, and the best place to start out with any of that is on every Tuesday or every other Tuesday. Sometimes it gets canceled, but on Tuesdays they have a Building Worlds event in Altspace. It's awesome. They go over the the basics of world building, and that's a great way to get started. It's a really great way to start out and build an environment that you're like, or you can just use one of the templates. Most of this world that we're in. This is one of those templates that anyone can use. We have some custom stuff that we put in, like this big, shiny red button of awesomeness, right? At the end of all my events now, I press the big red button. And when I do, something amazing happens. You guys should stick around and see it because it's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? We have Mike again. Mike, you pressed that button again. What's up? You got a question? This time, you just want to say hi. What's up? Where are you, Mike?
What this means? Because I'm confused.
What does this mean?
Yes.
This one right here? All right,
Yes.
This is Shrub. Now, let me tell you about Shrub. Back when we first started this event, we were in a different space. We had a different set, right? And on this set, right, I needed a place to put my tools here. You see, like on the edge of the stage here, we have like a laser pointer usually here, the flight tool. We've got a rest of them right here. But back on that set, we used to have Shrub Hold'em right here. Gonna step aside a minute here, Real Gamer 56. You'll see right here, there was a, we used to stick the laser pointer right there like that, right? And he had eyes, and for Quest time, he had a VR headset on, right? He was awesome. And I brought him in on the app and all that kind of stuff. But then our set became compromised. And when it did, right, we had to get a new one. So we came here, and I didn't know where to put my stuff. Eventually, I started putting it on the edge of the stage, but I was really uncomfortable, and I really missed Shrub. And I asked the admins, can we get Shrub? And they're like, I haven't seen him. And he's been missing ever since. We've been very worried about him. So if anybody sees Shrub, I know there are some spaces that have things that look like Shrub, but it's not him, right? Shrub is special. Shrub was the one, all right? He's one of the best assistants I ever had. All right, but if we put up that poster pretty much to remember him by. All right, thanks for that question, Mike. Awesome. All right, now we have Record One has a question. Record One, what's going on, Record? Let's see if I can get you on the air here. Record One, what's your question? Where are you, Record? There you are, in the blue, in the shirt. What's going on? No, you're still muted? Okay, maybe you pressed that button by accident. That's possible. Okay, cool. Let's see, we've got Bryce. Bryce has a question. What's going on, Bryce? Where are you, Bryce? Bryce, where are you? Speak to me. Bryce, where are you? I don't see you. Okay, Bryce. Bryce, no? Okay, maybe you pressed that button by accident. That can happen. All right, let's see. We've got Lannon. Lannon has a question. Lannon, you're on the air. What's going on? Where are you, Lannon? Everybody's moving around. I don't know where anybody is. Lannon, there you are. What's up?
Where can you find Shrub?
He was on a set that was called the Lunar Loft. And, you'll see in that space next to the stage, you'll see one of these in the corner, right? But the way we had him, he had eyes on, and he had like a VR headset on. We had a lot of fun with him. So that was.
Can I help you find him?
You can look around. You'll see ones that look like him, but if it's actually him, you'll know because he has eyes and a VR headset on. Let me know if you see that. Come back and tell me.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions at all? You press that raise hand button. Because we got about 9 more minutes here. Anybody have any questions? Press that raise hand button right there, and we'll take your question there. No questions? All right. Okay, that's cool. We can do this. All right. So what I'm going to do now is somebody asked early on when they first came in, right? They said if they can come up on the stage, right? And I was trying to help somebody else with the question, and he ended up getting sent back to the campfire. But, just to act out a little bit, I'm going to take the stage blocker off here. Everybody want to try coming on stage, just come on up here. Come on up here and stand with me. I'm going to unmute everybody, so you want to talk, you can do that. Right? Because what we're going to do here is if nobody has any questions, or we just maybe hang out for a couple minutes, kind of get a feeling for this, right? Get up on here. Anybody wants to come up, they can. All right. Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting about the Quest, about Altspace, anything like that? Just come up and ask, right? We won't even bother with the raise hand button for a little while. Anybody have any questions at all? Something you always wanted to know about Altspace or the Quest? The burning questions. No. The deep questions coming from down deep. Anybody? Any questions at all? No, maybe I should have gone in.
I saw this really cool counterweight for the back of the
counterweight.
Yeah,
is that the one with the the beanbag type thing? And
it looks like a beanbag. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. But listen, you got to remember something. When you modify your headset, always wait about a couple of weeks of having it, because the Oculus doesn't do enough to tell people this. But there's a breaking in period that can happen. This breaking in period, right? What can happen is when you first get your Quest, it's going to feel like it's really uncomfortable. Right? And a lot of people believe that. Some people even return their Quest because of this, right? But what happens is the oils in your face actually soften the insert material, and it'll actually change the weight and the balance of it. So a lot of people go, oh, this is too front heavy. I'm going to modify it, and they'll get this counterbalance stuff, right? And I would wait a couple of weeks before trying anything like that, because if you modify it too early, then when the headset gets broken in, right, then you're going to regret it, because a couple of weeks later, the balance is going to change, and you're going to think, this thing is just so uncomfortable, and it's not true. You just got to let it break in.
Well, I like the shape of that thing. I like the shape of that thing because kind of got this feeling you could use it like a slingshot. Right across the room.
I saw that, can weaponize the Quest. I also thought, it has no hole in the back, though. You need that if you have, a ponytail or something like that. I've got long hair, so
that's true. That's
what I miss about the Oculus Go the most, right? The head strap had that, hole in the back. Flip your hair right through that like that. But I want to be stylish when I'm in VR, right? I want to make sure I look good.
Well, you gotta be stylish.
Rocking it. Yeah. You got to think about that kind of stuff. Am I right? Real Gamer 56. All right. Anybody have any other questions at all? Any questions? Any questions?
The channels on here, do they have adult content channels?
What channels? What do you mean channels? I don't follow what you mean channels.
I'm quite interested to start up a cannabis kind of conversation.
Okay.
Medicinal use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Upon, do you think, by the,
There are people that do it. Listen, if you want to start like an event or something in Altspace and they don't feature you, you can have an unfeatured event pretty much about anything, or you can make it private and just invite people in. Where they regulate and where they get kind of strict is when you are featured, right? Because that means that they're promoting your content, and if they're promoting your content, and they may not necessarily agree with it, they'll be like, listen, we can't promote this, but we also aren't going to stop you from doing it. So
Maybe you
that's
can
a way to go.
explain the difference between channels featured and unfeatured, because I
Oh
think
yeah,
that,
event channels are
yeah.
basically like, all right, like our group, we put on a lot of different events, right? So we've got Quest
I'll
Time,
take
it's its own
shots
event.
in here.
We got Go Time, it's its own event. We got I Am Possible, it's its own event. We got Fight Time, it's its own event, and we got this like seriously cool event that's coming in. I can't talk about, but it's the most awesome thing I've ever seen in VR.
I don't think
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
It's
It
true,
is
it's
amazing.
true.
All right.
My
Now,
fault.
no, I won't do it. I won't confess. You got to make me. I won't do it. But what happened is, what you can do, right, is if you have a lot of different types of events, you can lump them into an event channel, right? And like you have like the guys over at Improv, they have all different shows, so they have an improv channel, right? It's also a great place to put your join Discord button, because if you're just having one event, you don't really need it. If you're having like 5 or 6 different types of events, right? If you have a few different types, but it's the same group of people putting it on, Discord is basically it's a text chat system that was primarily used by gamers, but it's grown up a lot. A lot of people are using it as a form of communication. It's basically
There's
a
also
chat
voice
system,
channels.
and it's how we all communicate when we're out of VR. So if you're out of VR, like the way it's the way I'll talk to my event team. I'll say, hey, listen, I'm putting on a show tonight. Can anybody help me moderate? And then people will say, yeah, I can be available and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, if anyone wants to join our Discord, right, what you do, if you go to altvr.com and you go up to where it says channels, right, you'll see a join Discord button there. It can help us put on events like this. Also, there's the most important button on the internet on that channel, right? It's a subscribe button. And when you press subscribe, we don't get paid to do this. So whenever that number goes up, it makes us feel good. It's a great way to say thank you, and that kind of stuff there. You got a
Another
question
way-
here, Lennon? What's up?
Oh yeah.
Can I get a picture with you?
A picture?
Aw.
Sure. All right, turn around, face that way, get a little selfie right there, right? And face the camera, the YouTube camera, so we can get it. It'll be like 2 pictures at once, right? We'll be messing with time. All right, now press that camera button to get the selfie and look straight ahead and let me know how it comes out. All right, ready? Do a little countdown kind of thing. How's that? We good? We got it? How'd it come out? How's my hair?
So, is this on YouTube?
Oh.
Yeah, it's totally on YouTube. See that? See that a raven eye right there? That's the camera. You're on YouTube right now. You know what? And if you focus, let's say your name. So, Lannon, you're Altspace famous. You did it. You made it.
my
You're on
goodness.
stage. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the big time.
Yeah.
All right,
It's the
everybody.
big time.
I have a question.
Yeah, if you go to, if you look up on YouTube, if you look up Ravenhall Events or Ravenhall Labs, you'll find our channel. Yes, and if you press the subscribe button, we'd be most grateful. What's going on, Record
Also-
One? You got a question?
Definitely gonna subscribe to you.
Oh, awesome.
Aw.
Thank you. What's going on, Record One? You got a question? You got a question. What is your question? Love your body language. That's cool. Your question. What is your question? Give me a Brooklyn hello. There you go. How you doing? What's going on? What's your question?
Every time I move a request like this, yeah, this happened right now. My
Yeah.
screen will stay right there, and it'll be blackness everywhere else. Is there?
All right. When that happens, you're having like slow tracking issues, right? What you can do, right, is one thing you can do is you can restart your headset by holding your button on the side and holding it down for about 25 seconds and restart it. That can clear it up. Or go into your settings and look at the tracking options. That'll be another one. It could also be your bandwidth, all right? Your internet bandwidth. You can reset your router, right? One weak point on the Quest that I will say is because the Go, to me, it had a stronger Wi-Fi reception, right? If you're on the Quest and you find that you're not getting like good reception on it, what you want to do is if your router is dual band, right? You or someone in your family, you have it basically lower it down to 2G, right? If you have it on 2G, it'll be slower, but it'll be more reliable. So if you attach your headset to the second band, that 2G one, right, you're going to find you have better performance, especially in Altspace. Because when I first came in on the Quest, I kept losing my Wi-Fi connection all the time because I'm pretty far away from my access point. What's going on, Fury? Oh, we want to press the button. Okay, we can press the button. We can totally do that. All right, everybody help me out here. Everybody
You have
lean
to
into the
prepare
button
them.
as hard as you can. Push it. Push the button. Push it, everybody. Come on. It's
Push.
stuck.
Push.
1, 2, 3. Push.
Ravenhall Talon
There we go.
aircraft en route to your position.
All right, here it comes. You'll see the ship flying by here. Yeah, that's right. You can say that. Well, don't worry, we're gonna edit that part out, man. All right, now it's going up there, it's spinning around. Come on, enjoy me outside, everybody.
Come on,
We're
hurry
gonna
on
bring
outside.
man, the show and the show with the Ravenhall Town. You can actually fly these things, you know. Guys down there, we're gonna come and teach everybody to fly, and you guys can try this. No problem. We'll take questions where we're going too, so don't worry. What's the question?
Talon
YouTube
Aircraft
channel,
is now
you can
boarding
find us at
outside for
Ravenhall
transport to the
events.
Ravenhall Flight
All right.
Academy. Please
It says it right on
exit the
the
building
stage.
and step
Go read
into
the
the blue
stage,
light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for the great audience. I'll see you next time.